Catch-22 film. Catch-22 is a 1970 American satirical black comedy war film adapted from the 1961 novel of the same name by Joseph Heller. In creating a black comedy revolving around the lunatic characters of Heller's satirical anti-war novel set at a fictional Mediterranean base during World War II. Director Mike Nichols and screenwriter Buck Henry, also in the cast, worked on the film script for 2 years, converting Heller's complex novel to the medium of the film. The cast included Alan Arkin, Bob Balaban, Martin Balsam, Richard Benjamin, Italian actress Olympia Carlisi, French comedian Marcel Dalio, Art Garfunkel, his acting debut, Jack Gilford, Charles Grodin, Bob Newport, Anthony Perkins, Austin Pendleton, Paula Prentice, Martin Sheen, John Voight, and Orson Welles. Plot: Captain John Yossarian, a U.S. Army Air Force B-25 bombardier, is stationed on the Mediterranean base on Pianosa during World War II. Along with his squadron members, Yossarian is committed to flying dangerous missions, but after watching friends die, he seeks a means of escape. Futilely appealing to his commanding officer, Colonel Cathcart, who continually increases the number of missions required to rotate home before anyone else can reach it. Yossarian learns that even a mental breakdown is no release when Doc Danica explains the Catch-22 the Army Air Force employs. While most crews are rotated out after 25, the minimum number of missions for this base is eventually raised to an unobtainable 80 missions, a figure resulting from Colonel Cathcart's craving for publicity, primarily a mention in the nationally syndicated Saturday Evening Post magazine. Catch-22, as explained by Doc Danica, the squadron flight surgeon. An airman would have to be crazy to fly more missions, and if he were crazy, he would be unfit to fly. Yet, if an airman were to refuse to fly more missions, this would indicate that he is sane, which would mean that he would be fit to fly the missions. Basically an impossible damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Yossarian is haunted in several recurring flashbacks during the film by the bloody death of Snowden, the young Tourette gunner on his B-52. After Snowden's death, Yossarian temporarily refuses to wear his uniform, which Snowden bled on. He shows up at a medal ceremony naked, and later morosely sits naked in a tree, where he is visited by Lieutenant Milo Binder, who rapidly progresses from squadron supply officer to a capitalistic tycoon involved in black market money-making schemes. The bomber squadron is populated by many additional comically strange characters. Major, the squadron's operations officer, is promoted to a squadron commander without ever having flown in a plane, and refuses to see anyone in his office while he is in, instructing Sergeant Towser, that people can see him when he's out. The person had to wait in the waiting room until Major was gone. Then the visitor could go right in. Well, no need to say sorry because I'm still sharing what you don't have to read yourself. Trapped by this convoluted logic, Yossarian watches as individuals in the squadron resort to unusual means to cope. Lieutenant Milo Minderbinder concocts elaborate black market schemes while crazed Captain Aardvark commits murder to silence a girl he raped. Lieutenant Nately falls for a prostitute. Major Danby delivers goofy pep talks before every bomb run on Captain, or keeps crashing at sea. Meanwhile, Nurse Duckett occasionally beds Yossarian. Nately dies as a result of an agreement between Milo and the Germans, trading surplus cotton in exchange for the squadron bombing its own base. While on a pass, Yossarian shares this news with Captain Nately's whore, who then tries to kill him. Because of Yossarian's constant complaints, Colonel Cathcart and Lieutenant Colonel Corn eventually agree to send him home, promising him a promotion to major and awarding him a medal for the fictitious saving of Cathcart's life. The only requirement being that Yossarian agrees to like the colonels and praise them when he gets home. Immediately after agreeing to Cathcart's and Corn's plan, Yossarian survives an attempt on his life when stabbed by Nately's whore, who had disguised herself as a janitor. Only recovered, Yossarian learns from the chaplain and Major Danby that Captain Orr's supposed death was a hoax and that Orr's repeated crash landings had been a subterfuge for practicing and planning his own escape from the madness. Yossarian is informed that Orr ditched the plane and paddled rescue raft all the way to Sweden on his last run. Yossarian decides to ditch the deal with Cathcart, leaps out of the hospital window, takes a raft from a damaged plane, and marching band practices for the ceremony to award Yossarian the promotion and medal. He hops into the sea, climbs into the raft, and starts paddling.